In a world where the simplest act of caring for a dog's coat has become one of the most misunderstood challenges in modern pet care, matted doodles are quietly telling a story that most owners are not ready to hear. What appears as soft, fluffy, and effortlessly adorable often hides a deeper biological and grooming reality that many families in the United States are only beginning to understand. Veterinarians and holistic advocates like Dr. Karen Becker have long emphasized that coat health is not just about appearance, but about comfort, mobility, and the emotional well-being of the animal. Yet across grooming salons, shelters, and living rooms, doodles continue to arrive in states of matting so severe that even basic brushing becomes a painful struggle, revealing how quickly neglect or misunderstanding can transform a beautiful coat into a burden. The truth is that the doodle's beloved hybrid coat, often celebrated for its low shedding reputation, behaves in ways that demand consistent attention, structured grooming routines, and an understanding of fiber growth patterns that many first-time owners never anticipate. And just when many owners believe they have mastered the basics of brushing and maintenance, an unexpected transformation begins beneath the surface of the coat that changes everything they thought they knew. It starts subtly, almost invisibly, as tiny knots form close to the skin, tightening with every movement until what was once a soft and flowing coat becomes a dense network that traps heat, limits airflow, and silently causes discomfort that many dogs do not outwardly express. In that hidden stage of development where matting progresses faster than most owners can detect, the dog's coat begins to reflect a silent imbalance between care, time, and understanding, creating a moment where intervention becomes not just helpful, but essential for the animal's well-being. According to Dr. Karen Becker, true wellness in companion animals extends far beyond diet and exercise, reaching deeply into the everyday practices that shape how humans interact with their pets, including the seemingly simple act of coat maintenance. When this perspective is applied to doodles, whose coats grow continuously and interlock with remarkable speed, the responsibility of grooming transforms from a cosmetic routine into a form of preventive care that directly influences comfort, health, and even behavior. However, beneath the surface of routine grooming advice lies a more urgent reality that often goes unnoticed until the problem is already escalated into severe matting that requires professional intervention and significant emotional stress for both dog and owner. In these moments, the work of educators, veterinarians, and voices like Dr. Karen Becker becomes especially important, reminding us that every coat tells a story of daily habits, environmental conditions, and the unseen choices that accumulate over time, shaping the animal's lived experience. Yet, even with growing awareness across the pet care community, many owners still underestimate how quickly matting can progress in doodle coats, leaving behind a challenge that demands patience, knowledge, and a deeper commitment to consistent, compassionate grooming practices over time. It continues, yet the story of the doodle coat does not end with simple awareness, because what many owners discover only after months of confusion is that matting is not a static condition, but a constantly evolving process that responds to movement, moisture, and time itself. Each step a dog takes, each nap on a carpet, each moment of humidity in the air contributes to the slow tightening of fibers that weave together beneath the surface. The result is a hidden transformation that often goes unnoticed until brushing becomes difficult or the dog begins to show subtle signs of discomfort, such as restlessness, sensitivity to touch, or reluctance to be groomed. In these moments, the responsibility of care becomes more complex, requiring not only tools, but also awareness, patience, and a willingness to look deeper than appearance. Many veterinarians explain that matting can restrict circulation near the skin and create pressure points that affect a dog's natural movement, yet owners are often surprised by how quickly these changes can occur, even in well-loved pets. Dr. Karen Becker has often highlighted that preventive care in animals must include attention to seemingly small daily habits, because those habits accumulate into either health or distress over time. And this principle becomes especially important when considering doodle breeds, whose coats are designed by nature and breeding to grow continuously without shedding in the traditional sense, which means that without regular maintenance, the coat does not release itself, but instead folds inward upon itself. As the matting deepens, it can create an insulating layer that traps heat in warm climates and moisture in humid conditions, leading to an environment that the skin beneath cannot naturally regulate. What begins as a cosmetic concern slowly evolves into a physiological one, affecting not just comfort, but overall well-being in ways that are not immediately visible to the untrained eye. Owners may notice small behavioral shifts at first, such as increased scratching or changes in posture, But these signals are often misinterpreted as minor irritations rather than signs of a developing structural issue within the coat itself. And yet, beneath this gradual progression lies a more troubling reality that often remains hidden until a critical moment arrives, a moment when the coat is no longer simply tangled, but has formed dense, interlocked layers that resist separation without careful intervention. It is in this stage that grooming transforms from a routine task into a delicate procedure that must balance patience with precision. Because improper handling can cause discomfort or even stress for the animal, there is a quiet tension that builds during this process, almost as if the coat itself is holding onto the accumulated history of every missed brushing, every rushed grooming session, and every overlooked detail. In that tension, owners begin to realize that what they are facing is not just a grooming challenge, but a reflection of time, attention, and consistency. The deeper truth emerges slowly, often unexpectedly, that care is not measured in occasional effort, but in steady commitment repeated across days and weeks. And just when it seems that the situation is fully understood, another layer of complexity reveals itself, reminding everyone involved that the doodle coat is far more dynamic than it first appears, requiring a level of awareness that continues to evolve alongside the bond between human and animal. In the final reflection on the Labradoodle challenge, the conversation naturally turns towards solutions, responsibility, and the deeper philosophy of care that defines the relationship between humans and their companion animals. Because while grooming tools, schedules, and techniques are essential, they are only part of a much larger framework that determines whether a dog thrives or struggles beneath its coat. The most successful caregivers are those who begin to see grooming not as an occasional task, but as a living practice, woven into daily life with consistency and awareness. This is where the insights of Dr. Becker become especially relevant, as she consistently emphasizes that true animal wellness is built on prevention rather than reaction, and that small, intentional actions repeated over time create the foundation for long-term health. When applied to Doodles, this philosophy reshapes the entire approach to coat maintenance, encouraging owners to move beyond reactive detangling and toward proactive routines that prevent matting before it ever has the chance to form. Yet even with the best intentions, many owners find themselves overwhelmed by the sheer persistence of coat maintenance, especially when life becomes busy and grooming sessions are delayed or shortened. In those moments, the coat does not pause or wait, but continues its natural cycle of growth and entanglement, quietly advancing the process of matting beneath the surface. This is why understanding the biology of the coat becomes just as important as learning the techniques of brushing and trimming, because knowledge transforms anxiety into confidence and confusion into clarity. A Doodle's coat is not inherently problematic. Rather, it is a living system that requires rhythm, structure, and attention to maintain balance. When that balance is disrupted, even unintentionally, the coat responds in predictable ways that can escalate quickly if left unchecked. And it is often only after facing a particularly severe grooming challenge that owners begin to fully appreciate the importance of consistency, realizing that prevention is far less stressful than correction. As awareness grows, so too does the recognition that grooming is not simply about appearance, but about communication and trust between human and animal. Each brushing session becomes an opportunity to check in with the dog's physical state, to notice subtle changes in skin health, and to reinforce a sense of safety and comfort. Over time, this routine can strengthen the bond between owner and pet, transforming what once felt like a chore into a shared ritual of care. And yet, even in this growing understanding, there remains a lingering lesson that cannot be ignored. Because the challenge of matted doodles is ultimately a reminder of how easily neglect can occur without intention, and how quickly small gaps in care can expand into significant problems. In the end, the message is both simple and profound. When care is consistent, informed, and compassionate, the coat remains a source of beauty and comfort. But when it is neglected, even briefly, it becomes a reflection of missed opportunities to protect the well-being of a beloved companion. And that realization is what continues to shape better practices for the future. If you are benefiting from our topics, please subscribe, like, and turn on the bell notification so you can see our new videos early.